very excited to be here. I work for Cohere. We build large language models, and we make them open weights. And we're very proud of our Command R+ model, which is really good at RAG and agents. It's a decent model overall. In fact, it is the, if you look at the chatbot arena, which is a pretty good eval, it's the first model that is not American or Chinese, so we're very proud of that. And we have an office in Paris, so also very proud that part of it was French done. And in fact, in the world of open weights, that's the second model in the world. The first one is Facebook, which also does really good models. All right, and today we're going to talk about advanced RAG. We're going to look at an example that has two problems, or two challenges that we train our models to overcome. And we're going to look at the use case of business analytics, or business intelligence. It is a use case that we deploy a lot for our customers. So what's the first challenge when we want to do AI for business analytics or business intelligence? It's a use case of RAG, because you absolutely want the model to be grounded in your spreadsheets and your SQL databases and your enterprise data. But it's difficult because it's not plain text. Like a spreadsheet is not plain text. It is a spreadsheet. And models are extremely bad at retrieving from spreadsheets and reasoning on spreadsheets if you try to represent a spreadsheet as text. So we're going to see, one, how to do RAG over spreadsheets, how the model does that. And two, we're going to see how we can go from basic RAG that does just one step of reasoning and retrieval from your data in order to answer, to pretty advanced RAG that can do multiple steps of reasoning, use retrieve from many different systems in order to answer a user question. All right, so this is a very simple UI. I'm going to pick Cohere, and I'm going to upload a spreadsheet, which is, so it's a spreadsheet that has data about Spotify songs. Let me shut this out. So it basically has all the Spotify songs, and it has their name, their streams, some features about them, like when they were released, how much energy they have, how danceable they are, stuff like that. And we are going to ask the model a very simple question, which is, analyze one of these features, like danceability, and create a histogram out of it. And so what we're seeing here is the model should recognize that it's a case of RAG. It needs to retrieve information from the spreadsheet. But it doesn't do that naively, where it would just represent the spreadsheet as text data. And instead, the model writes Python code using pandas to retrieve information from the spreadsheet and then analyze that information and then plot the histogram that the user was asking for. And the answer is you have some text and this histogram. And this is a first illustration of how you can move beyond basic RAG by equipping your model with tools, like a Python console or a calculator, or something that allows it to retrieve complex data and reason on it. So we're going to try that with a second question, which is also very similar and straightforward. What were the top 5 most streamed songs in Spotify in that data set? And same thing, the model realizes it needs to retrieve from the spreadsheet. And it should write some Python code to interact with the spreadsheet rather than just retrieving vanilla text. And it's going to answer nicely, thanks to its analysis, that Ed Sheeran, The Weeknd, etc. are pretty popular songs. So that's just an illustration of going from RAG to RAG with tools to handle more data types. And in the last 30 seconds, I'm just going to illustrate a second challenge, which is when you start asking questions that are more complex. Like the question here is about analyzing how danceable a song is, like analyzing 3 features for these popular songs, and comparing these to the average of the dataset, and then asking if it sees any trends and writing a report. That's very difficult because it has like 5 sub-questions in my request, and that's where you move in the territory of like agentic RAG. Like you ask the model to make a plan, and we see that plan on the right. It says, okay, I'm going to need 3 steps of reasoning. I'm going to retrieve 3 times. I'm going to use 3 different tools to answer this question. And so the model decides to retrieve from the spreadsheet and write Python code in order to analyze the features for the popular songs. Then it does the same thing for the data set on average. And then it decides to create this report. And so this, I thought, was a cool illustration of how you go from basic RAG on text to RAG with actual tools that the model can leverage. And finally, agent RAG, where the model can do multiple steps of reasoning over many different tools, as many as it wants. And I'll finish 10 seconds just saying, this demo, you can do it in like 10 lines of code using LangChain or Llama Index. Which is really cool because you can use open weight models with open source frameworks and do these advanced use cases with literally just 10 lines of code. Thank you.